Hey, I'm Brian Van, SportBikeTracker.com. Today we're going to break down the Motoholders Fairing Stay install. This is the OE one. We replaced it already. Install on our 2015 through 18 Yamaha R3 STG project bike. Okay, the Motoholders Fairing Stay, it's an aluminum fairing stay. Why would you install that in place of this steel one? Well, this weighs 1.95 pounds on our shipping scale. The Motoholder Stay weighs 0.9 pounds. So if you're building a race bike, you're trying to shave all the weight you can, that is 1.05 pounds of weight loss with a pretty inexpensive part. Another great reason to replace it would be if you've already crashed and destroyed this thing, don't buy the OE one, buy another one of these. During this video, we're going to show you every step of the way what it takes. This is really pretty basic. I think the most significant thing here is it fits great, worked great with the bodywork we have on the bike, and the weight loss is just over a pound. Okay, we've already got the race bodywork off. You can see that. So now we'll go ahead and remove the wiring harness here, the connector from the instrument panel. Release that. Got a Christmas tree clip here. Slides into the OE fairing bracket like so. Okay, and we'll swap the cluster once we have this off the bike. Two 12 mil hex head fasteners here. We'll reuse these bolts. I did, and you will have to if you buy this, find two nuts to use on the other side, okay? Because the factory bracket has the nuts, the steel factory bracket has the nuts welded onto the other side. All right, get that off. The biggest reason to do this, it's going to be weight savings, you know. If you're to a point with your R3 where you're starting to trim as much weight as possible, well, you could do this if you've damaged your OE fairing bracket. You know, you can just go ahead and kind of, you know, get a little upgrade here by going with the aluminum one. So as I said, the OE one, that's steel, okay? And it is, you can feel there's some girth to it, man, when you get it off of there. To install the instrument cluster, need to unbolt this first, okay, like so. Yeah, there's definitely some weight to it. Phillips head screws. You'll reuse all the hardware here to attach the cluster to that new Motoholders bracket. You'll have to disassemble the Motoholders bracket, same way I'm doing here. That one uses internal hex fasteners. Pretty basic stuff, and we're going to have a weight for you here on these two. Give you a concept of, you know, what is the actual weight savings. Okay, slide that off. Now each one of these you're going to want to transfer over, okay? You can see the factory steel bracket is slotted. Just kind of rotate those right out, like so. Okay. I just went and did a quick weight. The Motoholders aluminum stay weighs 0.9 pounds. The OEM steel, 1.95. So you're talking a 1.05 pound weight savings. It's fairly legitimate. I mean, that's nothing to shake your head at for sure. So now we're going to mount up the cluster, reusing all the stock hardware. So we have to transfer over the grommets. It's going to be a little different than what you had to do with the OE because there were slots cut in the OE one. So you just got to disform this, kind of push it through. Like so. Repeat that for the other two. We're not using any of the other mounting points on this. There were some other grommets that were on the stock stay for different reasons, headlights, stuff like that. We're not using that anymore, so we're out. We're just going to go ahead and only transfer over what we need. I'll pull the other pieces out and just put them in the spares, and we will keep that steel one as a spare in case we have a crash at the track and damage this one. We'll have a replacement to use. We can just pull from the spares. Slip that over like so. Bolt it down and then reassemble. Okay, brackets on. Let's go ahead and bolt it back to the fairing stay. Nice hardware with this. These things always fit nice. Good quality product for sure. We've used these on different bikes over the years. The one we did on that R1 that we had, that project bike that we just sold spring of this year, that carbon stay, that thing, yeah, that's been super popular. Saw quite a few of those. You know, now we do sell this one for the R3 with some relative frequency too. And now that people know I save a pound, that's not going to hurt anybody's feelings. So that bolts right on. Mounting hardware for the fairing, okay? We've got some pretty bitchin' driven mirror eliminators we're going to leave on there because Max really likes them. So we'll take this stuff. This is nice hardware. Normally this is just what you would use, right? Same holes that we've already drilled, it would work perfect. Yeah, but for our purpose, we're just going to stick with what makes that little kid happy. Throw these in the spares box. Like so. Now we're ready to head over the bike and bolt this down. Okay, gonna hold it up against the head tube. Push one of the bolts through. I was able to find 2 nylock style nuts, which is nice, locking nuts. We'll use those. But these bolts are the same ones that we used on that OE fairing stay. Like so. Go ahead and torque it all down. And they'll be ready for the bodywork. See how it fits now with this new fairing stay. Like anything else, just get them seated first. Don't run one down and torque it fully. Get them both seated before you apply any real final torque to it. Okay, like so. And then go ahead and run it down. Okay, plug your cluster back in. You know, this watertight cover, this is actually pretty important. Make sure you have that seated correctly. And then securing this to the fairing bracket, I think that's something that you need to do. Obviously, you can't use that anymore because there isn't a hole in the bracket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim that off of the harness because there's just no point in it being there. Like so. We'll just secure it right back here with just a quick cable tie. Don't need to get too fancy here. Trim the tail, and then we'll go ahead and throw the bodywork back on the bike.